What's up, Raider Nation? What's up, YouTube? This is Wi-Fi Willie of the Raiders Rundown. Last night, Josh McDaniels was asked by NFL Network Andrew Siciliano on if Derek Carr is going to be taking the snaps at QB week 1 of the 2022 season, and here's the answer that Josh McDaniels gave.
Can you say definitively, barring injury, Derek Carr is your starting quarterback week 1?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about it. I really am excited about this opportunity to work together. I know what he's done, and I know what we might be able to do going forward together. And
so when he was put on the spot, he said sure, without a doubt, and he also said he looks forward to what they might be able to do. Then general manager Dave Ziegler of the Las Vegas Raiders was asked about Josh McDaniels' response in a press conference.
Josh said that Derek Carr, no doubt, will be the quarterback week 1. What does that mean as far as extension talks and make it kind of a formality, or where does that stand right now?
Yeah, I think, I know Josh had that question. I saw the response, and so, that's the plan, right? And, it's been awesome getting to know Derek.
And if you look at Dave Ziegler's response there, he says, well, that is the plan. Josh McDaniels himself admitted, and so did Dave Ziegler, that contract negotiations with Derek Carr have not even begun. I've come to the realization that a lot of people on YouTube especially do not understand how reality works. There is no way in hell that Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler are going to tell the media exactly what they think. You guys got to keep in mind, no one's going to say what they think. John Gruden said he can't wait to coach Khalil Mack, and then he went and shipped him away. John Gruden said, oh, I can't wait to coach Amari Cooper, shipped him away. John Gruden said, oh, I love Michael Crabtree, released him. So there is absolutely no reason why you should believe every single thing they say. And when you look at these comments, they are not for sure saying that Derek Carr is the starting QB. The real fake news out there is anyone putting out information saying Derek Carr is for sure the starting QB of the Las Vegas Raiders. Absolutely nothing has been signed yet. When Josh McDaniels was asked about that specific question, what was he supposed to say? Was he supposed to say no? Was he supposed to say maybe? Obviously, he's not going to say that to harm any relationship that he could have with Derek Carr. He has to say yes. He has to say for sure. And then when you look deeper at these comments, Josh McDaniels says he looks forward to what they might be able to do. He is saying might.
I know what he's done, and I know what we might be able to do going forward together. And
even he is not fully committing. And then you look at Dave Ziegler's comments. He also says that's the plan if everything goes according to plan, meaning things cannot go according to plan.
Yeah, I think, Josh had that question. I saw the response, and so, that's the plan, right?
For those of you who say Derek Carr will play on his $19 million no guaranteed contract this year, I gotta say, you don't understand how this works, bro. Derek Carr's agent will not let him do that. Even if Derek Carr wanted to, Derek Carr's agent is going to say, no, buddy, you're getting some guaranteed money and you're getting a long-term deal, because there's about 15 other teams in the NFL who desperately need a quarterback. And those teams would pay Derek Carr a lot of money. Yes, they would, because guess what? Right now in free agency and the draft, there are no alternatives. And if Derek Carr goes and plays on this one-year deal, gets injured, or it doesn't work with Josh McDaniels, his stock is going to lower significantly, and he'll get significantly less money in 2023. There is absolutely no reason why he needs to gamble on himself at this point in his career. He has already been a Pro Bowler multiple times and has been in the NFL for 8 years. If Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler can't figure out from 8 years of data and film on whether or not Derek Carr is the guy for the future, then they're never going to figure it out. The Raiders have $19 million in cap space. The main way that they could create more room in the cap this year is letting go of Nassib and Corey Littleton after June. Then you'd free up roughly $12 million more dollars. So let's just say, for all argument's sake, the Raiders have $32 million in cap space. Let us also not forget that you got to save $10 million of that cap for rookies. So really, bring it right back down to $22 million in cap space this year. The only wide receivers we have under contract right now are Hunter Renfrow and Bryan Edwards. That's it. We have absolutely no D tackle under contract. We have no right tackle under contract. We only have 2 cornerbacks who are capable of starting or playing under contract, and one of them is coming off basically a season-long injury. That's Trayvon Mullen. So we have tons of needs all around this roster, and we only have $22 million in cap to do that. Keep in mind, next year you have to make fifth-year option decisions on Farrell, Abram, Jacobs, and you got to re-sign Renfro and Max Crosby to whatever they want financially. And then you got to re-sign Derek Carr. And so the game is beginning now. So those contract discussions haven't begun, and we have tons of needs on this roster with limited cap space. So McDaniels and Ziegler are going to try to convince Derek Carr to stay. They're going to try to convince him to not take that much money too on a multi-year deal. But how exactly do they do that? They don't have the resources to build a team around them unless they hit the lottery in the draft, unless they hit the lottery in free agency, finding some diamonds in the rough. So they're in a position where they have to convince Carr they're going to build a Super Bowl team around him in less than a year with limited resources. They have to convince Derek Carr that this is not a rebuild because Derek Carr has said that he does not want to be a part of another rebuild. David Carr has even mentioned the same problem on the herd with Colin Cowherd. Of course, Derek and David had said positive things about Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler in the media. That's because they have to. So just because a story is something that you do not want to hear, just because information is something that you do not like, that does not make it less true. If anything, the truth hurts, and I hate to break it to you. I hate to break the truth to you because I wish Derek Carr was going to be here for a long time, and I wish it was that smooth and simple where he's for sure going to be the QB because I like Derek Carr. I think he's a top 10 quarterback, but that is not the case. I actually have less success when I bring up things that are rough, when I bring up things that are critical and harsh. I actually have less success, but I am willing to take the heat in order to just give you the truth. The real clickbait, the real fake news out there is if I just put out some overly positive information that said everything's nice and dandy and Derek Carr's for sure going to be the QB for multiple years and he's going to do it for cheap. Yay, Devontae's coming too. No, because that's all bullshit, okay? So I'm going to keep giving to you straight on this channel, and I can't do it any other way. And until some ink is signed on the contract, Derek Carr is not the starting QB for 2022. He is not going to play on a one-year deal with no guarantees after coming off a career year in an offseason where there are no QBs available for several teams who desperately need a QB. That is not going to happen. That is why contract negotiations have not even begun yet. So here are the three possible scenarios. You convince Derek Carr that you're not rebuilding. You somehow convert a bunch of contracts into bonuses to free up cap and actually build a Super Bowl team this year or next year. But Mark Davis, he's never done that. He's never ever done that and invested that much in a player. He always has contracts scheduled in a way where there is an out. Even with Trent Brown, there is an out. With Unique Ngakoue, there is an out. You pay him fully for 1 or 2 years, boom, then you have a way to get out. He's never done anything like the Rams do, where you take Jalen Ramsey's contract. Yes, it's $20 million a year, but you convert $10 million of that into bonuses and pay it out over multiple years. No, Mark Davis has never done that, and I don't see him doing that today. So I think that scenario is a wash. Or you convince Derek Carr to go through a rebuild and say, hey, we're going to be hot in 3 years. We got to build this team. Derek Carr has already said he doesn't want to be part of a rebuild. So obviously I don't see that happening. Or you ship away your quarterback and you talk positively about him in the media to keep his stock high, and you ship him away right now when he has the highest stock because you are consciously going through a rebuild. I really hope this third scenario is not the case, but everything is telling me that it is the case. And if it's not the case, I'll be delighted and I'll be so happy if we go on a Super Bowl run with Derek Carr. But to be quite honest, I don't see how the money is there, and I don't see how a new regime in this position with a quarterback who could gain them so many resources for long term. Let me know what you think is going to happen. My name is Wi-Fi Willie of the Raiders Rundown. I hate to break it to you. I'm going to keep telling you exactly what I think, and I'm not going to lie and be overly positive just because it's what people want to hear. And the overly positive stuff, it is successful on the internet, but I just can't bring myself to lie like that. By the way, be sure to check out our live stream 5 p.m. on Thursdays. That's 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll be going live every single week. So peace out. Let me know which of these scenarios you think are the most likely, and have a good one.